This is Scott Bauer with Prosper Trading Academy and your SIBO Vol 411. Holiday trade was in full force yesterday with only about 34 million contracts traded, about 20% below recent averages, and calls outpaced puts by a 9 to 8 margin. VIX traded about 600,000 contracts yesterday. Call put ratio was about 1.75 to 1. That's typically over 3 to 1. VIX spot closed yesterday at 1418, this morning up over 10%, around 1570 after the much stronger than expected ADP jobs data, and that's ahead of tomorrow's June jobs report. But if you look at the VIX curve going out, not as big of a pop on the long end of the curve looking out November to March of next year, where VIX is just barely higher at that point. This morning, a huge trade in the VIX, which looks to be closing the October 27.45 1-by-3 call spread, traded 28,000 by 83,000 for 24 cents to buy the 3. Even though Tesla had the most contracts traded yesterday, about 1.7 million, Meta traded very, very heavily. 2 to 1 call put ratio as the stock hit a new 52-week high. Over 100,000 of the 300 calls expiring tomorrow traded, and implied volatility is now the highest in Meta since April. Rivian also traded with heavy volume, almost 1 million contracts, 2.5 to 1 call put ratio as the stock reached its 200-day moving average since the first time since December of 2021. There continues to be huge bullish call buying in some of the Bitcoin miner stocks. Yesterday, Mara traded almost 50,000 of this week's 16 strike calls, and in Riot, huge call buying in this week's 13 through 15 calls. SPX implied volatility has bounced off its 52-week low of about 10.5, and next Friday's at the money implied vol now over 13. This is Scott Bauer with Prosper Trading Academy and your SIBO Vol 411.